Yo, niaje? Kufiti? Sawa kabisa manze. Naitwa Kevo. If you're new here, karibu sana to our creative studio. Kama wewe ni mwenyeji, thanks for sticking around. Karibu tena. I know it's been so long tangu tufanye shughuli kai, but we're back. And this time we hope to do it consistently. Been away because a story is a job and it's been really hard to do one of these videos. But I want to try and be consistent this year, at least once a month or twice a month tuko tunatoa video. So if you're new here, kuna button ya red hapo chini, bonyeza. Feel free to subscribe to this channel to get more content like this. Tunaanza na energy na tutamaliza na energy. So ndio energy ya 2021, and we hope you stick around, man. We're going to learn about Adobe Illustrator, as you could probably tell from the title of this video. So we're going to learn the introduction to Adobe Illustrator, and if you remember the last tutorial we did Adobe Photoshop, this is not like it. It's not going to be a movie length video, so we're going to break it down, do it way easier for you guys and easier for me to take through Adobe Illustrator. So we're going to do it in sections. And I was thinking we do something creative with it. We do isqueto tutorials. We do something. We learn on the job, you know. So we are going to create a brand together. We're going to create a brand identity together. And we're going to start step by step. I'm going to take you through the process I use for my brand development projects. And we're going to do it together step by step. So leo itakuwa a basic introduction to Adobe Illustrator, what it is about, and like a basic overview too, and then the next time we get down to business. So nitaanza, before we get into it, nitaanza na kusema what Adobe Illustrator is. If you know Photoshop, if you watched the Photoshop video, Adobe Illustrator is like the bougie cousin in Photoshop. It's like ule kuzoa majuu of Photoshop. They are basically related. They're almost the same, but Adobe Illustrator iko na functionality tofauti kidogo, as you'll see, na pia uses zake ni tofauti. The difference between Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator is Adobe Photoshop hutumia pixels, like it draws actual pixels on your artboard, but Adobe Illustrator uses mathematical equations to draw on your screen. I hope it makes sense. So Adobe Photoshop, you can scale your artworks up, but up to a certain limit, like zitakuwa pixelated because it's actual pixels that are drawn on your screen. But for Adobe Illustrator, hata kama utaanza na kitu inatoshana 1 pixel, you have limitless scalability of your artworks. So ndio the major difference kati ya Photoshop na Illustrator. What is Illustrator used for? So Illustrator mostly hutumika for print ama production artworks. Sijui kama ushaiona kitu imeprintiwa, but then you can see the edges of the image. Kuna zigzag ime surround your image. You can count the pixels on the image. That was probably done in Photoshop. So Illustrator hutumika for print because you can, the scalability function, you can scale your artworks up as much as you want. It can also be used for illustrations, as it is like from the name Adobe Illustrator. You can use it for illustrations. These are like kuchora to cartoon or something. I'll show you a few. Yeah, that's what it is used for. You can also use Illustrator for the functions you use Photoshop for, except the way you achieve something on Photoshop ni tofauti kidogo on Illustrator. You can do almost the same things, procedure itakuwa tofauti. I hope that sums it up. So let's get right into Adobe Illustrator. Let's have the first look. So once you downloaded Adobe Illustrator from the Adobe site, you should have something like this. So you're going to create a new file. I take you through how it looks. So go file, new. You will get a window like this to select the size of your artboard. So I'm going to go with this web large. Once you've created a new file, you should have something like this. If your workspace is Essentials Classic, so to change your workspace, you go to Window, Workspace, and then Essentials Classic. So this is the workspace we are going to be using because it's the one I'm most comfortable with. You can check out the other workspaces and see which one works for you. There won't be much difference, it's just the layout and the arrangement of menu items that will be different. So I think we should start with this today. Once we're done with this, next time we start using these tools because hapa ndio tutakuwa tunaishi sana. So to demonstrate the functionality of these tools, I think I'll start with creating a few objects hapa. So let's create a rectangle using the rectangle tool. So you can either select this or press M on your keyboard, and then you can hold down Shift to maintain aspect ratio, or just let go of Shift to create a rectangle. So Shift to create a square, let go of Shift, just like in Photoshop. So yeah, that's the rectangle tool. So as you can see, we have an object that has a fill, a white fill and a black stroke. So you remember foreground and background in Photoshop? In Illustrator, it's fill and stroke. Upon the first major difference to meet, fill and stroke instead of foreground and background. So to change the fill and stroke of an image, I'm going to flip the fill and stroke. Na hii swap fill and stroke. Just press it also. You select your object, press it, and then the change like that. So we don't want our object to have a stroke, we want it to just have a fill. You come here, select the stroke, press this. Got carried away hapo, tulikuwa tunaangalia hizi tools. So this is the selection tool. It's used to select objects on the artboard, as you can see. So you just select the tool, come select your object gets selected. This is the direct selection tool. This is used to select points of an object, to select an object within a group. So you can use it to select an object or select a specific point, anchor point on that object. That's the direct selection tool. This is the magic wand tool. It's used to select objects that have similar properties on your artboard. Let's create another object that is similar to this so that you can see. So if we come to the magic wand tool, it will select all objects that have a black fill. So as you can see, it selects both objects no matter which I select. So it just looks for objects with similar properties. This is the lasso tool. The lasso tool, just like in Photoshop, is used to select points when you go around them, when you select them. So you can use it to select whole objects or points of an object. That's the lasso tool. This is the pen tool. The pen tool, just like in Photoshop, is used to either create shapes or edit points of an object. So you can add on to points, you can play around with it. That's the pen tool. This is the curvature tool. So the curvature tool is used to create curves. You remember we made this in Photoshop too. So just click and turn to create your curved paths depending on what you want. This is the type tool, of course, used to type text. So this is the line tool, used to create straight lines. The rectangle tool, we already made it. So if you right click on these tools that have tiny arrows over here, you'll get other tools that are similar within them. So the rectangle tool is among the shapes tools. So there's the rounded rectangle, ellipse, polygon tool, star tool, and flare tool. All these tools, I think we've made them in Photoshop, so I'm just going to go haraka through them. The pen tool, kuna hizi add anchor point, ni ya kuongeza point, delete anchor point, toa point. Anchor point ni ya ku manipulate a point. You select a point and then manipulate it with this tool. The type tool, text type area is to create like a text box on your artboard. Type on a path to type like on this line. Vertical type tool, types going downwards. Vertical area type tool, same thing, but now a paragraph or a text box that goes downwards. Vertical type on a path tool, types on a path but ukienda chini. Touch type tool, it's used to manipulate like single parts of a text. So like single letters, you can manipulate single letters some parts of a specific type area. Line tool, we've already talked about that. Arc tool is used to create arcs. The spiral tool creates this spiral thing. So most of these tools zinaji explained to, but we'll learn more about them as we go. The brush tool, paint brush tool, we've met this before, right, in Photoshop. So it's the same thing. So you use it to paint strokes. Here we paint strokes with this tool instead of like painting actual areas. But the blob brush tool, now you paint shapes with it, you don't paint strokes. So yeah, there's that. Shaper tool, manipulating shapes and parts of a shape. Eraser tool, deleting points, deleting objects. So rotate tool, rotation. Reflect tool, reflection. Some of these tools I'll just skip over them to, well, basically zinaji explain. Scale tool ni ya scale objects up and down. Shear tool ni ya shear. Reshape ni ya maybe to manipulate the way the shape looks. This one is the width tool. So this is a very interesting tool, and I'll show you how it works in our next video. It's used to edit the thickness of points on a path. Thickness of points on a path. So you can have a point in one pixel, 1 point, and then another point in a stroke like 6 points within the same path. It's a very interesting tool. The free transform tool gives you transformation options kadhaa at the same time for a shape or an object. Shape builder tool, I'll show you how this works. It's used to merge shapes into a single object. So for instance, let's merge this path thing and the rectangle. So you first select the two objects, and then with the shape builder tool you can either create a shape out of point yenye iko kwa hii blob but ijaguzwa na rectangle, ama yenye iko kwa rectangle ijaguzwa na blob, ama a combination of both. So you just drag along where you want your shape to be. So for instance, right now we've created a new shape which is a combination of that rectangle and this weird path. So to undo in Illustrator, just like in Photoshop, is Command Z or Control Z, depending on which platform you're using. So redoing is Shift Command Z or Shift Control Z, depending on your machine. The perspective grid, I think this is for 3D designs or something. So I've never actually used it because I've never had to do something 3D in Illustrator. The mesh tool, you can create a mesh in an object and then manipulate the mesh to manipulate the object. So think of it kama wire mesh, and then uchukue wire pale zimekutana, you start twisting it to twist the whole wire. I hope I make sense. The gradient tool is used for creating gradients. Of course, the eyedropper tool is for picking colors and properties of objects. The blend tool is used to manipulate blends. I'll explain what blends are in another video. The symbol sprayer, so you have to have a symbol like a pattern, and then you spray the symbol wherever you want. You like paint a pattern on your artboard. The column graph tool, I've never used this, but as you can see, it's for drawing graphs. Say you want to make a presentation, you need graphs, this is the tool for you. The artboard tool is used to manipulate artboards or create artboards. Slicer tool, I think we talked about this in Photoshop, so it's the same concept. You can slice your artboard into different sections and then export the slices individually. The hand tool is used to move around your artboard, as you can see. the zoom tool assist to zoom. So you can click and drag to your right to zoom in, drag to your left to zoom out, or just click to zoom in and then alt and click to zoom out. Yeah, that's it. That's the Illustrator toolbox. These are all the tools you're going to interact with. You're going to deal with most of them, and yeah, so I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And before we get onto that, by the way, ningependa like you guys suggest to me what our brand should be about. What is this brand you're going to create going to be about? So to do that, you can either leave a comment hapa chini ama go to our socials, links below, and you can DM us ideas you think we could use for our brand. So I hope I get your comments concerning Kenya Tutadu. If I don't, I'll just do something random. I really hope you tell me what to do, because I could use you guys to learn pamoja pia. So you could have a random idea ya brand yenye ungependa to build, and we'll do that together. So leave a comment, subscribe, DM us, and see you in the next one. So this year, energy to the end. See you next time. Bye.